I'm intensely and immensely proud of the men and women of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. In fact, in Del Rio, Texas, I saw them act heroically.
That was DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas Sunday on Meet the Press, defending the Biden administration's response to the surge of migrants at the border. He said the investigation into Border Patrol agents' treatments of the migrants after the controversial photos of agents on horseback, that investigation is still ongoing. Meanwhile, this morning, the bridge near the U.S.-Mexico border, where thousands of migrants set up a makeshift camp, now back open. It's estimated nearly 30,000 migrants, mostly Haitian, came to the Del Rio border crossing, forcing that bridge to close earlier this month. NBC's Guad Venegas is in Del Rio, Texas. He is near the international bridge. So, Guad, now that the bridge is clear, where are these migrants and what are the next steps for them?
Craig, good morning. Well, it's very difficult to keep track of the numbers because you do have migrants that are in the U.S., others in processing centers, and obviously the ones that return to Mexico. So we know because of the official report from Secretary Mayorkas that over 12,000 are in the U.S. They're going to be allowed to remain there as they go to immigration judges and go through this process seeking asylum. They might still be deported to Haiti if they are not granted asylum, right? We also know that at least 5,000 were being processed in processing centers across the region here. And then, of course, yesterday, Secretary Mayorkas said that 4,000 have been deported on planes to Haiti. And then there's the 8,000 that returned to Mexico. But here's where it gets tricky because there's thousands that are still in Mexico, other than that 8,000 that were making their way to the northern border of Mexico. So it's very complicated when you try to add up the numbers. Yesterday, we were at one of the processing centers where some still remain, and we found a relative who came from Miami looking for her cousin who made the trip. This is what she had to say.
You decide to take a trip that takes weeks, even months. You walk. There is 3 parts to the trip. Walking, getting on a bus, going through basically the jungle to get here. And then you're gonna decide to stay in Mexico. It doesn't add up, and we're not buying it. And the numbers don't add up either. We want accountability.
And again, it's very difficult to add up the numbers because the migrants are still moving. She makes reference to the jungle. Currently, reports say that in Colombia, migrants are still crossing from Colombia into Panama. That requires crossing the jungle. There's a part where they have to go on boats. There's also reports of migrants crossing from Guatemala into Mexico. This morning, more reports of migrants in the city of Monterrey, Mexico, which is just south of the Texas border. So you have a lot of pieces moving. While here in the U.S., we still have, as I mentioned, the last report said 5,000 still being processed in different centers across the region, Craig.
Guad Venegas there in Del Rio, Texas. Guad, thank you.